Excess of anything is a vice. Seneca. The men's world is in total mess and chaos. Young men don't know what to believe anymore. And the older ones think masculinity is dying. Who can blame them for this? Indeed, society has gone bonkers, but what do we do about it? Some influential personalities have come up with extreme measures. As they say, desperate times call for desperate measures. The result: toxic masculinity. Have we strayed so far from the path of purpose and identity that the best we can do is for men to go extreme? Surely we can do better than that. Young men don't have to be frustrated into becoming toxic. You can be the best man you can ever be. An uncompromising, highly disciplined, and unapologetic man who is proud of his masculinity. This is the way of the Sigma men, setting you apart and walking your path, not letting society suppress you. But being toxic is never an option, because that is definitely ruining your life, and you have to know it. So how is toxic masculinity ruining things for you? Find out right after you hit the subscribe button and join the Mestros, men who are exceptional in every way. Number 1. Being angry at everything. The way of the samurai warrior is to be calm and composed, to take in a situation and react only with wisdom and not emotions. This is called fudoshin, a state of mind of calmness of the warrior. The first battle every man must win is the battle within himself. Then he can strive to win the battle without. Being angry is the trademark of the toxic masculinity message. Now take a chill pill and hear me out on this one. You can take the red pill and still not allow anger to overwhelm you. Being angry all the time is not what makes you a man. Sure, society has gone bonkers, but there are times you should just smile or laugh at things happening and not allow it to get you emotional. Allowing emotions to take control of you is never a good thing. Being masculine is not the same thing as being angry, because that only brings you back to the same problem you are angry about. You need to take charge of your emotions. The Sigma male personality is all about being in charge of your life, emotions, and decisions. You are not in charge if anger is your guiding compass. Be the man that recognizes the surrounding problems. You sometimes get angry, you sometimes feel sorry, and you sometimes don't give attention to some things even when they are supposed to trigger you. When you are in control of your emotions, no one is going to control you. But a man that cannot control himself is one that can be manipulated by his emotions. Which would you rather be? Number 2. It makes you reactive. Khalil Gibran, the great philosopher, said, "I have learned silence from the talkative, toleration from the intolerant, and kindness from the unkind. Yet, strange, I am ungrateful to those teachers." You do not have to respect those who demean men and undermine masculinity, but you can learn from them and live a balanced life. Those who descend into the toxic ideology seek to reclaim their masculinity by being reactive. And when you are reactive, you are not in control. Just like Khalil Gibran, you can choose your own reaction, which does not have to be the same as those who are against you, but you don't show respect to those who do not deserve it. Gibran was an angry young man in his early 20s, but the man grew wiser and his talent and wisdom began to take form and shape, so much that he was able to create works that challenged the status quo of his time. Being a Sigma male means taking all the lessons you can from life, and even from people you disagree with, and using them to your advantage. But being toxic means being reactive in the same measure to the things that trigger you. Number 3. You miss what respect means. For Sigma men, respect is the core of all relationships. It determines who the Sigma relates with and how he relates to them. But what is respect? Does the toxic masculinity ideology understand what respect means? Absolutely not. Respect is acknowledgement. How would you acknowledge anyone when you think you need to compete with everyone and never accept there are people better than you are? The reality is, in life, there would always be someone better than you are. If not now, later. So would you be humble enough to acknowledge, or you would be hell-bent to prove you are the best thing after sliced bread? Sigma men live by respect. They acknowledge those who are better. They acknowledge greater wisdom and understanding even on things they were formerly convinced about. The toxic masculinity doctrine is all about blocking out the world. Number 4. Forcing yourself to be who you're not. Now, this is a funny but sad one. Have you seen men who have not taken any responsibility before, never done much to better themselves, and are not a positive influence on anyone, yet they strut around like they own the world and talk so much about hating this and hating that? It is all bad energy from them because they are forcing themselves to be what they do not even understand. Being a man has nothing with being loud or in everyone's face. It is all about responsibility. Sigma men walk their own path. They are the lone wolves in society that mind their own business and are not fighting battles that are not needed. They focus on their responsibilities and don't put themselves in the face of anyone. They are not forced into living in constant anger and competition. And that takes us to the next issue. Number 5. Competing against women. Listen, competing with anyone is going to do you no good, and competing against women is even worse. Why do that? The toxic masculinity ideology takes the red pill ideology too far. It is great to take the red pill and open your eyes to what is truly going on in the world, taking a divergent path and seeing the bigger picture. That makes sense. What doesn't make sense is thinking women are your competition. Toxic masculinity breeds the belief that women are adversaries in a battle for societal standing. This illusion of competition takes root in various aspects of life, such as education, careers, relationships, and even personal achievements. Men influenced by toxic masculinity might perceive women as threats to their own success, rather than as allies, friends, and partners in progress. By viewing women as rivals, men hinder their own emotional growth and hinder the potential for authentic and meaningful connections. This narrow perspective restricts empathy, compassion, and the ability to truly understand the experiences of others. Moreover, the objectification of women, fueled by toxic masculinity, perpetuates harmful power dynamics and reinforces gender inequality. Sigma men embrace freedom, and that freedom includes not competing with anyone. Number 6. Herd mentality and lack of critical thinking. One of the consequences of toxic masculinity is the emergence of a herd mentality among men. The pressure to conform to societal expectations creates an environment in which individuals are compelled to adopt predetermined roles and beliefs without questioning their validity. The desire for acceptance and validation within male-dominated spaces reinforces this conformity, leading to a collective surrender of critical thinking. As a result, the herd mentality not only hampers personal growth, but also perpetuates harmful ideologies and actions that harm both men and those around them. Sigma men know that critical thinking is the cornerstone of intellectual and personal development. These men are not trying to conform to norms and those around them. It can be said that men who embrace toxic ideology are easily influenced and give in to peer pressure. This is something Sigma men would not do. They maintain their ability to evaluate information objectively, challenge assumptions, and develop informed opinions. However, toxic masculinity's influence can erode this vital capacity. Men conditioned by societal pressures may suppress doubts and dismiss alternative viewpoints for fear of appearing weak or vulnerable. This suppression stifles intellectual curiosity and creates an environment where dissent is discouraged, inhibiting the development of nuanced perspectives and hindering progress. Number 7. You are not in control. If you buy into the toxic ideology, then you must know that you are no longer in control. Your emotions rule, and you are constantly seeking validation from other men who have the same ideology, and even from those you think you need to prove something to. Unresolved emotional turmoil can emerge as a driving force, steering men's actions and thoughts without conscious awareness. This loss of control over one's mind creates a vicious cycle where men are unable to fully understand themselves, relate to others empathetically, or make decisions that align with their values. Sigma men are in full control of their thoughts and actions because it is not about emotions or proving anything to anybody. Instead, it is all about getting results and making progress. The toxic masculinity ideology is a huge distraction to men, as they focus on politics and conflicts of gender and ideologies rather than self-improvement. The default thinking of anyone that buys into this ideology is to create an image of power and dominance rather than anything else. Number 8. In real danger of aggression. When anger and frustration lead the way, aggression is never far behind. Men in this situation always think they have something to prove. They are under this constant pressure so much that losing their cool is always going to happen. While there are genuine reasons for men to be angry, it is also important that self-control and maturity are the bedrock of masculinity. Because what is the value of a man that constantly feels pressured to exude intimidation and may feel he also has to enforce it in some situations? There is indeed a real danger of aggression, and people can smell it from a mile away. You may think it is cool that you instill intimidation, but you are cutting off vital relationships from yourself. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe to the channel, like this video, and watch this one as well. Thanks for watching.